Okay, beautiful morning at the seaside. Cold last night. It's been very, very cold, as you can imagine. It's time of year for it. Divvy's up on the roof sunning herself, so she's happy enough. You happy up there? Hey, you happy up there? Keeping an eye on what's going on. Now, every time we get to this time of year, things start getting cold. What happens? Yep, you guessed it, guys. Things start breaking. And today's problem is this diesel heater that's in the unit. This is normally on tick over, keeps this whole unit, this twin unit, absolutely toasty. Last few times it keeps clicking off, going off. I put a new pump on it. When it gets fired up, we're just pouring white smoke out of it, which I'm probably not going to turn that on right now because there's some. So what I'm going to do is take this off here, get it in the workshop, strip it out and clean it. I've done what I always do and consulted the gods of YouTube and had a little look at some videos on there, and I think it's just a clean out job. Clean up the heater plug, and then hopefully we can get this back running and get some heat in the place. So got her off and on the bench, unscrew that, take this off. It's fairly much a sealed unit, but from what I can gather on YouTube is this is your heater plug. So I'm going to check that first because that's an easy one to check. And just open this up. There's a lot of black soot coming out the bottom here, which I don't think is good. So that looks like it probably needs a good clean up as well. The problem with this is it was running solidly 24 hours a day all last winter, no problems. And then we've turned it off over the summer, so it hasn't had any use over the summer. Then it's switched back on again and it's running faulty. So it's probably my fault. What I should have done is maybe fired it up a couple of times just over the summer, just to keep it cleared out, stop the damp getting into it, stuff like that. We are very coastal here, and we do always have problems with stuff this time of year just because of the air and just how cold it gets. But we'll open this up and have a look. So let's have a little look in there. Well, it's just a little heater plug in there. So let's see if we can get that out, because a lot of the videos I've watched, that seems to be one of the major problems, is that gets coked up and then doesn't fire, which seems to be a little bit of the fault. So I pulled this out of the case, out of the plastic case, and there's a clip there to hold this on, which I think is just a heat sensor. So that's that. We're now going to try and get this heater plug out of here, or this is the igniter, I think. See what the state of that is, and then worst case scenario we'll have to crack this open and see what the inner body's like. By the looks of that chimney or the exhaust valve, I probably will do that anyway, because I suspect it's probably minging in there. Relatively simple design really. You got your electronics on this panel, run on a heater plug, and then these little thing is just like a little internal burner with a fan on the back. So makes you wonder why Webasto and all them other companies were producing them at nearly £1,000 when you can get them now for less than 100 quid. . That looks fairly clean in there. Oh, that's actually the fuel thing. That's where the fuel goes in. And then obviously this is our little igniter. And you got, I assume you've got the main gubbins is in there. I'll take this fuel thing off. Okay, there's your little heater igniter plug, if you can see that. That doesn't look brilliant, so we're going to give that, I think this is the fuel, where the fuel comes in, this ignites, so we're going to give that a clean up, definitely. Right, I don't really want to, but I think we're going to have actually have a look in the main body here while we've got this open and just see how gunked up this is in here. I suspect that's half the problem. I've cleaned up the little igniter switch, which definitely was sort of blocked really, or didn't look very good. So we'll get this out of here now and see what the inside's like. See what this looks like. Oh, you see in there? The light's not too good. Yeah, and that smells pretty poor, pretty bad, so I would have thought that's going to be the problem. So, not that I'm an expert, but that don't look great in there, so we'll just give this a good clean out, I think. So we've got this as clean as we can, a bit of brake fluid and paraffin, blowing it through with the airline. Old toothbrush work well, get in all them ribs and give this a good clean out. Clean up the rest of it, put it back together, and then if it doesn't work then we're going to smash it up with a hammer. I think one of the problems is when it's laid up over the winter. We had this just on the lowest setting on tick over, and I think that's what contributes to it getting coked up. I think if you run it on full for just a little bit of time, maybe a minute or two, and certainly when we closed it off for the summer, what we should have done is maybe run it on max for an hour or so and just get it nice and hot and get all the sort of debris burnt out of it, and then that probably wouldn't have needed this, but hindsight and all that. Okay, we're back together. This is worth pointing out. This here is the heat conductor. Now that's going to make the electronics kick in and do what it's supposed to do up this end. When that's as coked up as that was, this is only touching the outside of the casing, but there's so much insulation on there with the soot and the dust in there that it's obviously not reading properly. Because what we're finding is that it's kicking in but not quite enough to ignite the flame. So I'm hoping now by cleaning all the inside out it's going to give a proper read, and that should just click in properly. The fan's all spinning as it should. There's no other fault that I can see, so in my mind that should work, he says confidently. If not, you might see me lose my temper and kick it about the yard, but let's see. Let's get it back on the wall and see if that runs. Okay, moment of truth. This diesel heater came with a digital controller. I personally don't like them. We always tend to end up with these manual ones. It's off and on, and a little temperature control. There is a nice little hack with these that I've discovered recently, which is really handy. If you turn these up full and you hold the off button down 3 seconds, it kicks in the pump. So when you're priming it, like now it's been reconnected, we prime the pump, leave that pumping through for a little while, and that gets the diesel through, saves you having to start it and restart it and restart it. Again, people swear by the digital controllers, and you can get these ones now that talk to you, and they do all sorts of different things, and you can set them up on your phone. I just ain't got the brain power, I think. I just like the off and on and the thermostat. So you can hear the pump kicking out now. We'll have a look, see if the diesel's going through. That's pumping through quite nicely. Not the best fuel lines come with these diesel heaters. I'll probably replace that sometimes, as I like a flexi hose rather than them, but that'll do for now. So hopefully let's get this fired up. So fingers crossed. Let's see what happens here. I might have to start this up a couple of times, because sometimes even the tiniest little diesel lock or airlock, sorry, you can't get the diesel through. I'm expecting a little bit of smoke to start with, but that's a lot clearer than it was. That was pumping out sort of this white smoke. Smoke's cleared. That's on absolute full blast now, so there's definitely some crap in the line, and I am just going to replace that filter and the rest of the line, just as a precautionary thing. So just get that done, and then I'm going to class that as a success. So not that I'm an expert on these old things, but sometimes you just got to grit your teeth and have a go at it. Say worst case scenario is it goes in the bin, but these are pretty robust machines, these old diesel heaters. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. We're going to go on and try and fix something else now. Take care, see you all later.